I got my bushes back from the machine shop. So now we can fit the supports for the back ends of my torsion bar extensions. We can get this cross member in place and we can see how far we can get with a bracket of sorts here for the airbags. Coming up. Hey, how's it, you oaks, and welcome back. I'm still busy here with my, I don't really know what to call it even. Torsion bar, airbag, cantilever, suspension modification. I don't know what would be the right term for it. Yeah, and I'm pretty damn good at digging a hole for myself. I've been, the previous 2 videos, working on this business already. But yeah, I still got courage. Good morning, Andre. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
You must speak English now so people can understand you. Have you done my part?
Yes, always done. Please.
Awesome. Let me in. Hey, look at that, brother.
All done.
Light is bad, but that's looking great, eh? Hey? Nice, brother.
Goes in nicely there. This one, same story.
Awesome. Now I can carry on. I've been being held up by this.
At least now you can carry on. Finally.
There's a quick shot of Andre's shop. Got nice big machines here. Look at this one. It's the man who can do it. This is a drawing I gave to poor Andre. How he deciphered this business. Only he will know. Okay, lekker man, I've got my beautifully machined pins and bushes back here in the shop. So the idea now is to take the pin that slides into this piece of pipe. This is my torsion bar extension. Give it a bit of a spacing there, we can weld it nicely there. Also do maybe 2 plug welds to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. The bush part, it's got a grease nipple on the one side. So we can grease it up to prevent it from seizing. On this side, we've drilled and tapped 2 holes for M10 bolts. So now the pin fits in like that. Nice sliding fit. And the idea now is to build a bracket that can attach to my cross member to hold this in place. And then the whole business can rotate like that. Let's go and fit it. Can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. Yes, and I know this stuff is strong enough to use on a freaking bulldozer. But we used material that we had. And we really don't mind a bit of extra weight in the back. So I'm not stressed about it. One thing's for sure. It ain't gonna break, man. Okay, so nothing is welded here yet, this is still loose. But I just want to try things and see how it's going to work. So my pin is going in like that. And then the plan is to, I've got a 6mm 1/4 inch bracket. It's going to go in like that. Weld this to the cross member. It can bolt through there. I might give that a little bit of a bracing here or something like that. And then Bob's going to be your uncle. I think my next step would be to just weld this into place first. Right, so I've got it all welded together, and yeah, knowing myself, now I'm going to waste a lot of time grinding it nicely, just because I like that sculpted look. The things we do for aesthetics, just so it can look cool, eh? Before I do that, I thought I would just like to show you the distortion that can be caused by welding. If I put the straight edge across here, I don't know if you can see the gap here. So I've brought you a little closer and I'm going to shine this light here. Can you see that gap there? So the straight edge is touching here, and here we've got about a 4mm gap, a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. Well, it's the nature of the beast. This section here is actually what's keeping these two pieces together. And the fact that I did welding only on the one side will cause it to distort a little bit. It's just how it is. It doesn't bother me too much, but if I do want to sort it out, I could probably do a little relief cut down there, bend it a little bit, and then when I weld it back there, it will pull it back into line. I don't know, I might still do that. Yes, so since now everybody knows about that distortion, I just couldn't live with it anymore, so I thought let's sort it out. So I cut it through halfway here, tacked it together after clamping it down on my bench. So now we should be good to go. It should be at least as straight as my bench. There we go. Now it's straight again. A quick lesson in misery. If such a word even exists. How to drive a zip cut disc to the absolute very end. Oh man, there's still some life left in it. Right, now let's see if my plan is going to work. So this cross member is going to go in here somewhere. There we go. Roughly in that position. This is the cab is ending here, so that will just be sticking out past the back of the cab. It needs to drop down more. This needs to be flush with the top of the frame. So I'm going to have to give it a little bit of a cutout here to provide some more clearance for my torsion bar extensions. And then here, a bracket needs to be welded on. It will take the carrier bearing for the prop shaft. So from the carrier bearing we'll go forward to the transmission, and then from the carrier bearing that away, obviously to the diff, and then we should have enough clearance here for when the air system goes up and down. So I need to do these reliefs, cutouts, clearance thingies, whatever we want to call them. I've made these cutouts to provide clearance for my torsion bar extensions. And I've cut a half a piece of pipe that will fit in like that now. This is a cross section of the actual torsion bar extension. So I've just selected the diameter here. It will give me some nice clearance. The next step is to weld this into place. So I did cut this piece quite carefully because I want this little gap here for the weld. So there's about a 2mm gap here, I think, here, or something in that region. 2mm is what? About a little bit more than 1/16 of an inch. So I've got that space all the way around, just so that I've got somewhere for my weld material to go, and especially since I still want to grind it a little bit afterwards. Right, it's done. I thought that'd save your poor eyeballs, and I quickly did it off screen. So now I'm just going to grind it a little bit. Then we can go and try my cross member for size. Okay, lekker man, I got it looking all snazzy now. Pity no one is ever going to see this because it's going to face down towards the road. But it doesn't matter, it makes me feel good. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, I just said lekker man. Lekker means cool or great or nice. It's a South African slang word. I think the only thing left now is to go see if it's going to fit and work. Rightio, so this puppy should be able to fit in here now. I've clamped the straight edge across the bottom of the frame because I want the bottom of this to line up. So this needs to go in here, something like that. Yes man, I got clearance there. Good clearance there. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so nothing is welded yet, and down here or back here we're only tacked together. I just want to make a few more parts before we assemble it, tack and weld it completely. So I want to now make another bracket going across here, same shape as that one. So I've made a hardboard template, something like that. This is the same shape as that. And then this is going to form part of some more bracketry and plates that's going to go in here to help support my airbags. So I think I'm just going to make up this piece first and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've just glued this cross member in a few spots to keep it in place. And now that plate I made, the plan is for that to go here. I think I'm just going to clamp it in place so that we can just see what's going to happen here. So I made this from 6mm, 1/4" plate. Right, something like that. So the idea with this plate now is to provide a connection point for the brackets that's going to go in here to hold my airbag. If I measured correctly, the cap will sit right here with an 1/2 inch clearance. Let's hope that works out. So I think before I now start welding anything, I'm just going to do a bit of a mock-up here to see how things are going to work out, and then we'll go along as it happens, see what challenges lie ahead. yeah, let's do a bit of a mock-up. Alright, so I'm just messing around here with my favorite pattern making material. This old pieces of 3mm hardboard, 1/8 of an inch. I love using this stuff because it's nice and stiff. So I'm kind of thinking if I make this also out of 1/4 inch plate, 6mm plate, maybe have a piece there to brace it up a bit more. And then the bag can attach here somewhere. I still need to decide on the height. And then I can also, even if I want to, we'll see, I can cap this with some flat bar to give it some more stiffness even. We'll see where we go. But yeah, to finish my template pattern, whatever we want to call it here, look at the shadow from the afternoon sun shining in my door. I need to decide now at what height my airbag should sit. And if you can imagine the lever that's attached to the torsion bar extension, there's going to be a certain amount of movement there. And that movement, the distance of that movement, I think is pretty much going to determine where I fit my bag. Movement of the lever in relation to how much the bag can move. The higher I mount the bag, the less work it needs to do because the lever gets longer. But the amount of movement needs to relate to the amount that the bag can move, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I need to think about this height. How does one old man in a forest manage to make such a freaking mess? And the clever guys say pushing a broom is bad for your back. But what can I do? There's just me here. So the only solution is SOS mode. Slower, older, but smarter. So frequent staff resting and thinking sessions are in order. Oh boy. Okay, so I've made up a play lever. That's just sort of attached here to the torsion bar. So now we're looking here from the front. I've got the front of the chassis jacked up and you can see the lever here. So we're going to see how much this is going to move. So we need to keep our eye on this. I'm jacked up here. I've got like, just see, almost 12 inches of ground clearance here in the front. So shall we call this off-road ride height? It will never go higher than this. So I'm going to drop the jack now so that it can go down as much as it can, and we'll see how much that lever moves. Here goes. There was not a lot of movement. I mean, even at this height we moved, I'm kind of guessing, I wonder if it was 8 inches, 200 millimeters. But now if we look up here, I've still got about 6 inches of ground clearance here. I want this to go lower. And of course, currently it can't go lower because this stop, is getting in the way. So I'm going to cut the stop out now so that I can get this down as much as possible. And I need to do that before I fiddle with my lever in the back because I want to see the full range. So if I can get this to drop down more, I'll get a little bit more movement in the back. So next step for me is to do some cutting, get rid of all this. Hey, but now I see I'm snookered, man. I need some new tips for my plasma cutter. So I hold out the oxy set and I see I'm fresh out of oxygen as well. What a bummer. So I can't do any cutting here. I'm gonna have to call it a day until I do a supply run and haul my sorry ass off to town to get some stuff. So thanks for watching and hanging out here with me in the forest. I enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video when we carry on with this business. Until then, have a lucky one. Man, oh man, that worked really well. I think I've just found a new way to wash my work clothes. It's going to make mommy happy. She's not going to have to deal with my dirty stuff anymore. I actually got the idea from one of our subscribers quite some time ago. I can't remember the name, brother, sorry, but thanks for the suggestion. Like you see, it works really great. I did kind of snooker myself now. I've got a choice between wearing wet pants or this dirty old blue towel for the rest of the day.